Before it was named CAPE, I was a parent who helped organize one of the schools and created arts partnership. And my daughter was in first grade, and the school didn't have any arts programming except for a tiny bit of music.
But we just, kept it going and to keep educating other parents about what it is that arts integration does so incredibly.
Here today at CAPE's annual Convergence, our annual sharing of the work of our teachers, artists, and students in Chicago Public Schools. The teachers and artists work together with the students and they look at big ideas, they form inquiry questions about their big ideas, they form curriculum and explore it, and they document and share their practice.
I'm an art and design teacher at the School of the Arts, South Shore High School, on the southeast side of Chicago. And my partner and I have been involved with CAPE, Chicago Arts Partnership and Education, for what we believe the last 5 years. This piece here is sort of a compilation of all their different family diagrams. Each one of those little environments there, so to speak, are representative of their family structure.
Working with Phil for about the past 5 years. The students see how Phil and I kind of silently communicate all the time, where we're going with projects and just sort of coming up with things very fastly, which we do a lot.
Yes.
So our silent communication. Phil loves architecture and I love architecture, so I think it's some foresight they saw that we would get along famously, which we do, and it was a perfect pairing.
These teachers, these artists, these students are innovators, they're great thinkers, they're heroes, they're willing to take risks and put their work out there and really explore new and exciting concepts, ideas about art and about education.
Imagine walking into the room and everybody saying, "Yeah, Mr. Delgado's here." You know what I mean? Because every time I came into the classroom, the students would applaud and they would be happy. I mean, imagine, that's better than a cup of coffee in the morning.
I think it definitely made my Mondays a little easier.
Maggie's a wonderful teacher in the classroom, and I consider, her a master. And I feel like I learned a lot by being in the classroom with her, and I'm more effective.
Having them use the microscopes for a sort of different outcome caught their attention more.
We had one 7th grade classroom that looked at microorganisms through the microscope, and we had another 7th grade classroom that looked at fossils under the magnifying lens. It's harder than it seems.
The microscopes we started using at the beginning of the year, and yet here we were at the end of the year and they were still kind of struggling with it, and this kind of reinforced their skills in using the microscope and being able to find objects.
And they didn't know what to do with the information once they got it. So I think it was an exciting opportunity to turn it into works of art. When the students were finished with the work and they saw it, I think they had an aha moment. And I got a sense that people knew they were working as a team, and I think they behaved in that manner, like they were collaborating, like artists, like true artists.
Like artists and scientists.
We started with a sound that was basically just...
We started with a simple sound. The moment that our brains identify a sound as potentially music, our brains begin to, at a very deep and completely unconscious level, attempt to categorize the music to anticipate what's going to happen next.
What was it?
A flute.
A flute.
Everybody knew what it was. Everybody knew it was a wind instrument.
And we took that one sound and we put it in the program, and then they had all these different effects and tweaks that you could put on the sound.
And we had to make it 3 different sounds that didn't sound anywhere near the same.
They were all different.
Like nobody even knew what it was.
You just wove those sounds together into some sort of song.
It's not really a sound anymore. It's a way of
communicating.
A way of communicating, yeah.
Then we had to come up with a story about like where those sounds came from that was like a made up history or something like that.
We created our own culture out of it.
So then we made up like these people, and they believe that like this angel is gonna come down. Her name's like Intella. Like she's gonna blow into this horn, and whichever sound you hear is gonna divide you up in social classes. Then we became more in depth. Like where did this legend come from? Why do these people believe it comes from? And why are the sounds the way they are?
It's interesting to see how many different perspectives you can get from one single sound. It opens up different perspectives, different windows. For example, like history, we can perceive it like a certain event in history as a good thing, but as a bad thing as well. We may decide our morals differently depending on the way we see things and whatnot.